won't you come follow me? I'll take time to notice all that I see. And after I've come so far, you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. But life is a vision, that's how it should be. The world is a canvas, and the choices are free. At the end of the journey, where all is complete, they'll all wonder where I've gone, but you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. Our dreams last forever, for all that we know. The roads come together, and that's where we'll go.
Buenos Micronesia. It is Monday, November 4, 2019. I'm Troy Torres. Welcome back to our studios today in Tumon, Guam. We apologize for what happened earlier. It was, well, frankly, I'm getting tired of the internet problems that we've been having with iTeeny, so I'm not going to cover for iTeeny this time. We had an internet break, and so we had to call iTeeny and figure it out. And I left a nasty message, and so we took care of it. Thank you, iTeeny, for taking care of that. We're very irritated and frustrated right now with your internet coverage. As I was saying in my jumbled language across the streamy internet thing that was going on in our last live, which was about 30, 40 minutes ago. I don't even remember all that stuff. And I was saying some funny stuff too, right? Right. I can't repeat that stuff. It's not funny a second time. Anyway, so, oh, yes, well, a not funny thing I was saying was, can you please keep Alicia Kanata and her family in your prayers because her sister-in-law is not doing well. They are at GRMC, and there are no good prospects for her. So please keep Alicia and her family, especially her sister-in-law, who is not doing well, in your prayers. That would be greatly appreciated. I think I was talking. Oh, I was talking earlier about how um, while I was at GMH earlier tonight, I met a few people, and there are a bunch of people who are getting sick from pneumonia. Well, I'm sorry, they're getting sick and they are developing pneumonia. So everybody, please out there, mind your health, take care of yourselves. Probably not a good idea to follow my lead on anything that deals with health whatsoever, because apparently the things that I do are not generally healthy. Like even when I try to be healthy, like going to the beach in the morning, apparently that ain't a good thing. Or walking in the rain, because I like the rain. Not a good thing, apparently. My grandma told me that a long time ago. I thought it was just an old tomorrow, whatever, and maybe there's actually science behind it. I don't know. All I know is that a bunch of people are getting sick. The flu is going around. I got sick, didn't even know I had strep throat for quite some time. It developed into pneumonia, and I had to visit the hospital Friday, called an ambulance and everything, but my friend Vanessa came here faster than the ambulance did, and so she took me. I had a 104.4 degree fever, which is not good for a 39-year-old. Actually, that's not good for any adult to have a fever that high, and I don't know if it fried my brain or any of my other organs, but we shall soon see. This is my first night back on the TriCaster. Eric and I say thank you for joining us tonight. Johnny Rosario is out sick this evening. She apologized. See, even Johnny's sick. Everyone's just getting sick. Lots of people are getting sick. So please, if you're watching right now and you're sick, I hope that you're in bed watching and you got some 7-Up and some Ichiban. And those are probably not even good things for you, but they make me feel great when I'm sick. You got some Vicks, like your husband or your wife is rubbing Vicks on your feet. And if you're the husband or wife of the sick person, you're welcome. You got to take care of your husband or wife, all right? They're not messing around. And it is not true that guys are bigger babies when they're sick than females are. It is not true at all. Not true. Let's put up the white car. So I vowed to continue doing this until this person is caught. I believe the license plate is Tumon 3688. A few days ago, the woman driving this car, and in this car, in front of BP Carbolito Elementary School, she ran over a dog, and she didn't stop. She just kept driving away, and she was on her phone laughing while she was driving away. That makes her rhymes with punt. So if you see this person driving Tumon 3688, please call me, Troy, at 456-4237. But it's probably a better idea to call the Guam Police Department at 472-8911 to report that you've seen the woman who hit a dog and laughed while she was on her cell phone and speeding in a school zone above 15 miles per hour while kids were present. And of course, she hit a dog. Let them know that where the whereabouts of this car. And if you know who this person is, please let us know so we can plaster her face all over Kandit News, because she is a rhymes with witch. Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys before we started getting into the stuff that we've prepared is we came across this. Can you see my we came across this post by a Gardenia Ferreira. This was 7 hours ago. Gardenia is reporting that a boy named Gabriel Ferreira, who is 14, has been missing since October 30. The last thing he was wearing was a red shirt and gray pants. He was last seen in the Mataguac area. This is in Jigo. Please spread the word to help find my brother, says Gardenia. Police have been notified. Please help. Now, we just saw this tonight. We haven't had a chance to call Guam Police Department to see what this is about. I haven't seen this anywhere until just tonight. And so this is really important. This is a 14-year-old boy who's been missing for, this is 5 days now, right? Going on 6 days. If anyone knows where this boy is, please call the Guam Police Department at 911. Well, I haven't shared this yet. Let me share it right now. And I'm not Gardenia's friend on Facebook, so you can do this too. You can search for her, Gardenia Ferreira, Ferreira is her last name. And you can share this as well. If you could do that right now, that would be awesome. Let's see, share. Everyone, please help and share. If you see this boy or know where he is, please call 911 immediately.
This was just shared recently, right?
7 hours ago. It was just posted 7 hours ago. Now I don't want to speculate why the police department hasn't put this out as some sort of missing person report or APB, or maybe there is an APB that they just haven't let the public know about. I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll try to get more answers from the Guam Police Department in the morning. You guys like my curly hair? It's my Palau hair, that's right. Hold on 1 second. Oh, shoot. Sorry to my friend who sent that message just now. That has nothing to do with news. It's just, sorry. Anyway. So, yeah, if people can help out by spreading the word about this missing boy, it increases the chances that the boy will be reunited with his family. And we'll try to get more details about that tomorrow. Now, a couple of days ago, maybe this was Thursday. Yeah, this was right before I got really sick. Thursday, I was outside the office, and if you know where the office is, it's in Tumon, near the Akansa Mall. And I looked outside, and there was a homeless woman walking by with her who appeared to be her homeless daughter, who appeared to be maybe 7, couldn't be more than 8 years old. And they were coming from, there's a dilapidated 3-story structure in the back here. And I remember from back in the Calvo administration, this structure was known to be a house for, I don't want to say it's abandoned because it's not. It's been a house for homeless people. Just like the Royal Palm, the remnants of the Royal Palm Hotel across the street, which is the hotel that was damaged during the 1993 earthquake, and all that remains is the parking lot. Now, Kandit has been wanting to do a story about the owners of the Royal Orchid Hotel, who apparently also own the Royal Palm, illegally dumping a lot of trash in that parking lot. It's a good way of saving money, I suppose. Not really good for the environment, especially when you consider that when it rains, the runoff from that is just leachate going into Ipao Beach and Tumon Bay. But aside from that, it's also a home for the homeless. There are a lot of homeless people here in Tumon. It makes sense when you're homeless to come to a place that offers shelter, that is close to the beach, that has many outdoor showers that are in the parks and also just right outside the hotels and their beachfront areas. if you're a peddler, it's a good way to peddle the tourists and the locals who come here and the clubbers at night and all that stuff. So it really does make sense for homeless people to make a home in Tumon in these abandoned buildings. And by and large, at least by my experience, and I can't speak for everyone here in Tumon because I do remember hearing a few complaints, but it's been our experience here that they're harmless. They don't really bother anyone. I mean, sometimes they're drunk at night, but so are a whole bunch of misfits who are not homeless who come into Tumon to club from Thursday to Saturday. They're probably more of a danger or a menace to society than the homeless people. Anyway, what struck me about what I saw with this woman and her daughter was the daughter. It never occurred to me that there were also children who were living in the abandoned structure that's near our office. And when I spoke with Tamuning Mayor Louise Rivera today, she said, yeah, there are children both in that structure back there and in the Royal Palm structure. A lot of children. And so I know people have all kinds of different political thoughts and opinions about the homeless situation on the island, and I don't want to get into that, at least not for this story. This is more of a project than a story. The Tamuning Mayor and Kandit worked out a nice little arrangement. So we're asking all of you to donate if you want to purchase, if there's something that you want to let go of that you already own, toys for Christmas for these kids. And Tamuning Mayor Louise Rivera is, we're going to give all this stuff to her, and she's going to Santa Claus these kids. And she was very open to the idea. She loves it. Matter of fact, she's going to be coordinating a Christmas meal for these families. Everyone deserves a good Christmas. These are just kids. And their parents obviously can't afford on some days to even feed them. And on Christmas, while everyone's happy, it would just break my heart if these kids have nothing on Christmas. So, for the next how many days that there are till Christmas, we'll remind everyone every night that they can bring their Christmas gifts for these kids to our office here at Kandit. You know what, I'm so stupid. I didn't even ask the mayor when I talked to her today whether it's okay to drop the gifts over to the mayor's office as well, which would probably be a really good idea, especially if you live closer to the Tamuning Mayor's office than you do to our office. I'll check on that tomorrow. But let's help these kids have a good Christmas. And you know, if you want to talk about the homeless kids in other areas, you know, that's fine too. Maybe another organization can help out and do a Christmas drive for them as well. But what we're going to concentrate on are our neighbors here in Tumon. There are a lot of people who live in the dilapidated structure near Kandit's offices, and a whole lot more over at the remnants of the Royal Palm. And so we want to localize our Christmas love to these areas and make sure that these kids have an okay Christmas and have some Santa Claus in their lives too. The other project that I introduced a few nights ago after I didn't feel like I was going to die was this journey that I'm on. Starting December 1, . and not one day sooner, I'm going to stop smoking. And I'm going to try to stop smoking. I'm going to try to keep on not smoking for the days after that for at least 10 years. That's my goal. And I'm inviting any of you who are smokers and who want to join me in this journey to join me. Let's do this together. And to help, for those of you who are going to join me or are considering it, thinking about it, maybe December 1's not your day, maybe January 1 is your day. Let me just, a bit of advice for someone who's tried to quit smoking many times before. January 1 don't work. It just don't. You gotta set that clock back 1 month. And like, while the merriment of Christmas is going on, get rid of that smoking in your life so that when the merriment of January 1 comes, you know, it's a little easier. Just trust me on this, okay? So, last night I went over the health risks of smoking and also the health benefits of smoking over time from a 20 minutes after you quit smoking benefit to 15 years after you quit smoking. And then the results are phenomenal. They are absolutely stunning. Especially when you compare it to just how dangerous and risky smoking is over time. Now, I wanted to bring up some free proven quit smoking tips from tobaccofree.com. Hold on 1 second while I pull this up. And then this is a short thing, and then after that, maybe I wanted to talk with you guys about exactly how we're going to do this. There are some questions about quitting on a certain date, like what time does it start, and what do you do, and all that. These are logistics that has to be all worked out, and we got to be specific about this. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, oh my goodness, it's 12:05 and I'm smoking, and I said I wouldn't smoke on December 1. Oh, well, guess I couldn't do it this time. Been there. or, oh, it's December 1, but I haven't gone to sleep yet. I'll quit when I wake up on December 1. Which is not such a bad idea, actually. But hold on.
Or it's December 1 somewhere.
Oh, it's December 1 somewhere? Yeah. I've used that. Not on December 1, on another date. I've chosen many dates to quit smoking. And the worst times to quit smoking are January 1, Christmas Day, and your birthday. Not going to work. Oh my God, I chose the one that has lots of words. Never mind. Forget that. Here's one. So every day until December 1, what I'm going to do is just present tidbits of information about, like, you know, the benefits of quitting smoking, or like the science behind addiction to cigarettes and all that stuff. And then other times we'll talk about, okay, what are we going to do on December 1? How are we going to do this? And other times we can talk about whatever. There's a lot to talk about with smoking because it happens like I do it all the time. I smoke all the time. Nicotine withdrawal symptoms usually reach their peak 2 to 3 days after you quit. See, that's good news. Just 2 to 3 days. And are gone within 1 to 3 months. See, the nicotine withdrawal, at least for me, is not, it ain't such a terrible thing. It's the physical habit. It's the mental habit. It's the routine of it. Someone called it an oral fixation. And true, there are some people who can kick the habit by replacing the oral fixation with gum or pugwa or whatever. But that's just not going to work for me. It's just, for me, it's more than that. It's the inhaling the smoke. It's the seeing the smoke cloud. It's holding the cigarette, feeling the warmth of the butt. I mean, it's. I just love smoking cigarettes. That's my problem. And maybe for other smokers, it's not such a fixation like that or routine like that, and that's good. That's good. I've got it pretty bad. And so what I'm saying is, if I can quit smoking, I'm sure there are many, many others who can and who will have a less of a hard time quitting smoking than me. It takes at least 3 months for your brain chemistry to return to normal after you quit smoking. The last two symptoms to go usually are irritability and low energy. There is nothing you can do about the irritability part. Nothing. Nothing. And you know what? It doesn't matter. You be irritable all you want if you're going to quit smoking. Now, the people around you, hey, that's on them. They kept telling you to quit smoking anyway. You tell them, you know what? You wanted me to quit smoking, right? Well, here I am. This is me not smoking. The biggest itch in the world you will ever come across. And then don't fill your cabinets with snacks because you'll get fat. All right. Earlier tonight, Eric Rosario with Kandit News, the illustrious Eric, you're welcome, Chalu, went to Jigo. Was it the mayor's office? The Senior Citizens Center. The Jigo Senior Citizens Center. Thank you, Mayor Rudy Matsunani, for being a kind host to Republican Senator James Moylan, who, in the absence of action from the Leon Guerrero administration to provide her community, she's always talking about how everything is hers, with information about what's going on around the island, especially with regard to crime. I think that was the focus and the emphasis of tonight's town hall meeting by Senator James Moylan, right? Senator Moylan held a town hall meeting to not just allay people's concerns about crime. I don't think that was the purpose of his town hall meeting. It was more to present information about crime and to help people to understand at least what he's trying to do in the Guam legislature. Basically, Senator Moylan is doing his job. And it's not just his job. Actually, part of this isn't even his job. He is providing information and doing part of the governor's job that the governor is not doing, and that is to provide this information to the community, to go out into the community, into the boondocks of our island, and address the people. And not just to address the people, but to hear what they have to say, hear what their concerns are. This was something that Governor Calvo, and before him, Governor Camacho, and before him, Governor Gutierrez, and before him, Governor Ada, and before him, Governor Bordallo, and blah, 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 have done, is to go out into the community to reach the people. And at the very least, even though we understand what the problems are, to understand further what the people's problems are, to get really into those grassroots. And it gives people a certain level of comfort that their leaders are doing this, except we don't see Governor Leon Guerrero doing this at all. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but first we want to bring you a good 5 minutes of the interaction that Senator James Moylan and the community of Jigo had earlier tonight.
These are why we're having these town hall meetings, to come to the villages to discuss what they need to be, what's important to them. And that's what we want to hear. Like your question, ma'am, is a very good question, and we're hoping to hear other questions too, because these bills haven't got to session yet or haven't got to a public hearing, but it's important now that we hear your input. Because from our standpoint, or from my office standpoint, is the common question is, right now is about, the question is safety of our families and our homes. Families, when they come home from school, the kids come home from school at bus stops in the neighborhood. Safety of our property when we get home after work. Is my home broken into or not? So this is what our public forums are really about. I'm sorry? Oh, okay. And a lot of people we see cameras everywhere now, so that's common. Before we would just get fences at the houses, but now we know fences can be jumped over or cut through. So what do we do now? We get the cameras at our home that are live on our watch or on our phone. And everybody knows the latest and the greatest. My friend Rob Scamilleri over here, he can show you what his dog is doing at home right now on his camera. So it's you know, we're all interested because we're all concerned about the safety of our family at home, for the public safety and all these criminals that are running around and all these drug issues that we got going.
So just in taking a look at Title 10, Article 3, subsection 77301. Ma'am, to answer your question directly, that section of the law was changed in 1998, October 14th to be exact, based on what I'm seeing on the comparative laws website. And again, in theory and concept, the reason why the law was enacted this way, and again, I agree with what you're saying, is that it's based on population. So what Major Chong is referencing is the fact that there should be 2 per village on shift, and if it's a 24-hour shift, whether it's 3 8-hour shifts or 2 12-hour shifts, that also has would have an impact on the number of officers that are on duty at any given time. But you're absolutely right. The population down in Pneumatic and in Arahan is a lot less. So it's 2 per officers, and then for every additional 2,000 residents, it's 1 police officer for those 2,000 residents. So that's where they try to equalize or address the disparity between the population up here in Jigo versus the population down in Arahan and Mauricio. So again, in theory and concept, that the legislators back in 1988 thought about that and said at least 2 per village, plus an additional police officer for every 2,000 residents that exist in that village. So so when you do the math, obviously, Dededo Precinct, which takes care of the northern part of Carmen, which takes care of all of Dededo and all of Jigo, would have a lot more people on duty than Agate Precinct that takes care of, even though geographically it's the biggest part, landmass wise, but least populated. That precinct would have the least or a lesser amount of police officers.
And we didn't look at it as dividing it into villages or whatever sectors and having 2 police officers in a certain area. We did the demographics, and we did the studies and figured out where was crime more rampant. And that also accounts for what times these crimes were occurring. So I don't know the 2 police officers in a certain village kind of rule would apply, because if you got a place like in Aganin where there is no activity at night and there's hardly any crime basically, you know, why would you want to have 2 police officers sitting there twiddling their thumbs? What should happen is that you've got a bunch of these people that concentrate in certain areas, but the minute they have the strategy in place, they could take some officers from a certain area and let them move over to a higher area. The same thing goes with funerals. Why do we have to use patrol cars and uniformed police officers with guns to escort? You know, we're doing it for us in Tumon. Why don't we have these companies that were licensed to do patrols to do that thing? Same thing with if you have a village like Jigo and you get the public community and they say, hey, you know, maybe GPD's too busy, but we want some presence. Why don't we hire a security company to basically do those roving patrols? The problem, I think, is, you know, the mainland is totally, they have a totally different strategy from what we have here. And it's like everything is territorial here. GPD says, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. So we had the same issue with reserve police officers years ago where, you know, they had to make them wear an orange jumpsuit. They made them do this and that. They couldn't carry a gun.